Right. So in the previous lecture, we are discussing the module 5, which is underground cables. Uh, the construction and types of insulating materials and different types of cables were discussed in the previous lecture. So now let us today we are going to cover the topics: calculation of insulation resistance, dielectric stress, and capacitance of a single core cable. Right. Upon completion of this lecture, you can develop the equations to calculate the insulation resistance, dielectric stress, as well as capacitance of a single core cable. And also you can find the most economical conductor size or diameter of the cable. Right. Let us see the first calculate the insulation resistance of a single core cable. Okay, so what is this insulation resistance? You know that what is resistance? Resistance is the opposition cause for the flow of current. So now here you have to find out the insulation resistance, right? The resistance of the insulation you have to calculate for a single core cable. So if you observe a single core cable, in the construction of cable we were studied, you are having the central core. Okay, you are having the central core. This core is a conductor, so which carries the actual current. Okay, on the top of the conductor you have one layer of insulation. Okay, so this is insulation. So what is the purpose of insulation? So this insulation will oppose the cause for the flow of current from conductor to the earth. Okay, so after this you are having some protective layers, which are bedding, armoring, and serving. Okay, so if you consider major parts, if you are having one conductor, on the top of the conductor you are having the insulation. Okay, so the insulation resistance is the opposition caused for the flow of leakage currents. Okay, insulation resistance is the opposition caused for the flow of leakage current from conductor to earth. So you are going to calculate this insulation resistance R value. Right, for calculating insulation resistance. So let us consider a conductor.
Hey, Itra.
Please mute your audio, ma. Nikhil. Right. So to calculate the insulation resistance of a single core cable, let us first take a cable which is having a core diameter of core radius of R1 and intersheath radius of R2. Right? Intersheath radius is nothing but your insulation radius. Okay. So now here you consider a small layer of insulation which is having the thickness dx at a distance of x meters from the center of the cable. Okay, so this is your conductor. From the center of the conductor or core at a distance x meters, you have to consider a small insulation layer. Okay, so that small insulation layer is having a thickness of dx. So this is the layer what you are going to consider, so which is at a distance x meters from the center of the core, and this layer is having the thickness dx. Okay, so now for this small layer dx, first you calculate the insulation resistance. Okay, so to calculate the resistance, you know the general formula, which is rho L by A. Okay, rho L by A. This is the formula for calculating the resistance, right? So now here, what is L here for this layer? So you are going to consider a small layer which is having this thickness dx. So the length will become this dx. Okay, and what is the area? Area of this entire thickness of insulation, what we were considered, right? For this layer, what is the area? So the area of this will be, if this cable is having having a length of L meters, so then it is like a cylinder. So the cross sectional area can be written as 2 pi R into L for a cylinder. You know this formula for a cylinder. Cross sectional area is 2 pi R into L. Now this layer is at a distance of x meter. So this x meter is nothing but the radius for this layer. So this will become, R will become x, length of the cable. So this is the area, and this thickness will become the length. So the insulation resistance for considered layer will be a little bit smaller. Smaller is equal to rho, L here is dx by cross sectional area is 2 pi into x into L. Okay, so this is for only small layer. Okay, so small layer, small insulation layer, what we were considered. Now you have to consider, you have to calculate the total insulation resistance, right? So the total insulation means from here, from surface of the conductor to this radius R2. Okay, so that means from R1 to R2 you have to calculate the insulation resistance. So that will become the total insulation resistance of the cable. So the total incidence of the whole cable can be written as, you have to integrate this small r. So right, with from R1 to R2. So integral of R1 to R2, small r is rho dx by 2 pi xl. Okay, so rho 2 pi l are the constant, you take it term outside. So integral of R1 R2 1 by x dx you will get. So now integral of 1 by x is known as ln x. Okay, so now, and if you apply the limits, then the insulation resistance finally what you are getting here is R is equal to rho by 2 pi l into ln R2 by R1. Okay, so this is the expression for calculating the insulation resistance of a single core cable. So now if you observe the this expression, the insulation resistance is inversely proportional to length of the cable. Okay, as the length of the cable is increasing, the resistance value will decreases. Okay, so but generally you should have the high insulation resistance for a cable. Okay, you have to design the cable in such a way that there should not be any leakage currents. Okay, so this is about the insulation resistance of a single core cable. Right. So then calculate the capacitance of a single core cable. See how you can derive the expression to calculate the capacitance of a single core cable. Okay, so now here also you have to consider a cable which is having internal diameter as small d. So internal diameter in the sense the conductor diameter, and sheath diameter is capital D. Okay, here you are going to consider on single core cable, that single core cable will be having conductor, and on the conductor you are having insulation. Okay, and this conductor diameter is small d, and sheath diameter from the center of the core, this will be capital D. Okay, so and, then radius will be d by 2 for conductor or core, and radius will be capital D by 2 for internal sheath. This sheath is nothing but your insulation only. Okay, and this sheath will be generally grounded. Okay, you are laying the these cables in by burying inside the earth. So generally this it will be connected to your earth. Okay, so now you have the conductor, and earth will be acting like another conductor. So you will there will exist a capacitance between this earth and your conductor. Okay, so that means you are having two plates. To exist the capacitance, you should have two electrodes and one dielectric medium here. Okay, so now here also in the cable you are having the conductor where the actual current will flow, right? So that will act as one plate, and this sheath will be acting as a another which is connected to the earth, that will act as a another plate. So now between two plates you are having some medium. So this medium here is the insulation. Okay, so insulation, what you are keeping here, that may be impregnated paper or varnish, whatever may be the material. So between these two plates you are having some insulating material or dielectric material. So this will form a capacitance. Okay, so now what is the capacitance value for this cable you have to calculate. Okay, so now you have to derive the expression to calculate the capacitance. Right now, to calculate the capacitance of a single core cable, you also consider the cylinder, or you can a small layer which is at a distance of x meters, and you consider the length of the cable will be 1 meter. Okay, so generally this cable length is L. For the calculation purpose, let us consider this L will be 1 meter. Right, so again you consider a small thickness which is at a distance x meters from the center of the conductor. Right, so which is at point P. Okay, you are going to consider a small thickness of layer which is at point P, and point P is at a distance of x meters from the center of the conductor. Okay, now the surface area of this thickness will be 2 pi x into 1 meter. Right, so while calculating the insulation resistance, we were calculated the surface area for this, so which is 2 pi x into L. Okay, so now in place of L you are going to consider 1 meter length of the cable. Okay, so then that value will be 2 pi x you will get. Okay, here the surface area of the cylinder in the sense this thickness, so this will like a it will be like a cylinder now. Okay, so that surface area will be 2 pi x, as it is surface area, the units are meter square. Right, so now what is the electric flux density at a point P? So from your electromagnetic field theory, you know about the electric flux density of a cylinder. Okay, so the electric flux density of a cylinder, from the Gauss law you can represent it as a dx is equal to q by 2 pi x. Okay, so if you want to say in simple words, you know that B is the flux per unit area, magnetic flux per unit area. Okay, and in the similar manner, capital D will be flux density, flux per unit area. This is also okay. So this flux here, while calculating D, this flux is the electrostatic flux, and for magnetic, while calculating the magnetic flux density, this flux is the magnetic flux. So this is magnetic flux, this is electrostatic flux. Okay, so this flux depends upon the value of current flowing, and this value depends upon the charge. Okay, so suppose Q is the capital Q is the charge per unit length. Okay, so if Q is the charge per unit length at this point P, so then the flux density D can be written as D will be Q by A. Okay, so total flux, electrostatic flux will be Q, right? Q by A, here A will be 2 pi x. So like this also you can say. So D flux density at a distance P will be written as dx is equal to Q by A, here is 2 pi x. Okay, so this is the flux density. Now from the flux density you can calculate the electric field intensity E. So electric field intensity E is equal to flux density by epsilon. You also know this formula also, right? So if you calculate the electric intensity or electric flux intensity, so at a point P, so then this Ex is equal to dx by epsilon naught. Now in place of dx you can write Q by 2 pi x, then Ex will be Q by 2 pi x epsilon, and this epsilon can be written as epsilon naught into epsilon r. Okay, so this is the electric intensity at a point P. Okay, so you got the flux density D and electric field intensity E. So which is at a distance x meters. Okay. So now if you know the electric field intensity E, so then you can calculate V. So V is the voltage, right? This value is equal to integral of E dx. You know this formula. This formula also from your electromagnetic field theory, right? Now you have to calculate this voltage. So voltage or potential difference, you can say. Okay. So now the what is the voltage or potential difference? The definition, voltage definition is work done to move a unit positive charge from one place to the another place. Okay. So the work done in moving a unit positive charge from point P through a distance dx can be written as this Ex into dx. Okay, electric field intensity or electric intensity, you can say. Work done to move the unit positive charge from point P through a distance dx. Now, if you calculate the work done in moving the unit positive charge from conductor to the sheath, so then this is called the potential difference. Okay, potential difference V. So that can be written as from conductor to sheath. From conductor in the sense here, surface of the conductor to sheath here. So that means from D by 2. So from this point, from the surface of the conductor will be having at a distance D by 2. So from this distance to this. So that means from D by 2 to capital D by 2. So this distance you have to calculate. Okay. Right. So integrals are V is equal to integral of D by 2, small d by 2 to capital D by 2 E x into dx. Now here Ex is the q by 2 pi x into epsilon naught epsilon naught. Now here q is the charge per unit time, which is constant. So so q by 2 pi epsilon naught you take it outside. So then you will be having log d by capital D by small d. Okay. So this is the voltage expressed or potential difference value. Okay, the potential difference. So between your conductor and surface of the sheath. So that value will be this q by 2 pi epsilon naught log d by d to the base E. So now the capacitance of the cable can be written as capacitance C is equal to q by V. So this is the general formula. Okay, q by V. So in place of V, you can substitute this value. So then you will get the capacitance of a single core cable. So which is having a value 2 pi epsilon naught by ln capital D by small d. Okay. So capital D is the sheath diameter and small d is the conductor diameter. Okay. This is how you can calculate the capacitance of a single core cable. Now, if you want to further derive an expression, so actually this C here is for C is the capacitance of a single core cable per phase only. Okay, and is also for 1 meter length. Okay, we were considered only 1 meter length. So this capacitance what we were calculated is for 1 meter. So capacitance generally will be in farads as it is for 1 meter. The units are farads per meter you will get. Okay. If you want to calculate the capacitance for whole length of the cable, so then this total value should be multiplied with L, length of the cable. Then capacitance of the cable 2 pi epsilon naught L by ln d by d you will get. Okay. So in, what is epsilon naught here? Epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 power minus 2 farads per meter. Okay. So now you substitute this epsilon naught, the value 8.854 into 10 power minus 12, and you convert this ln term log to the base E to log to the base 10. Okay. So then how you will get? See here, you are going to substitute epsilon naught value. So then that expression will become 2 pi into 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 into epsilon r by, so you are going to convert this log capital D by small d to the base e to log d by 2 base 10. Okay, how you can convert this? So you are having log capital D by small d to the base e. Okay, this is small d. So this can be written as log capital D by small d to the base 10 divided by log e to the base 10. You can write this expression like this. Okay, so now this can be written as 1 by log e to the base 10 multiplied by log capital D by small d to the base 10. Okay, now this value, if you calculate, you will get the value of 2.303. You calculate this value so that you will get 2.303 as the value. So in place of this, you can write 2.303 into log capital D by small d to the base 10. Okay, so this is in farads per meter. So if you further calculate, then you will get the final value as epsilon r by 41.4 into log capital D by d to the base 10 into 10 power minus 9. Okay, so you no need to remember actually all these things. So you just remember this formula, that is enough. So capital C is capacitance of the cable C is equal to 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r by log capital D by small d to the base E. So which is in for 1 meter. Now if you want for total length of the cable, you have to multiply this with L, which is length of the cable. See here, capital C is equal to, actually this is the what we have calculated value. So if it is multiplied with L, you will get the total capacitance of the single core cable. Okay, so is there any doubts here in derivation? You have calculated the insulation resistance expression as well as capacitance. Okay, right. So next you derive the expression for dielectric stress. So this dielectric stress is also known as potential gradient or electric intensity. Okay, so you are going to derive the expression to calculate the dielectric stress in a single core cable. So you under normal operating condition, the insulation of the cable is subjected to electrostatic forces. So as I said, as we know that this is a conductor, this conductor will carry the current. Okay, so due to current flowing through this conductor, electrostatic force will be developed, right? So this electrostatic forces, these forces will be radial across this insulation, right? And these electrostatic forces, so generally known as the dielectric stress. Okay, the electrostatic forces which are developed in the core in the cable are generally known as the dielectric stress, and this dielectric stress at any point in the cable, it is also known as a potential gradient or electric intensity at that point. Okay, so you see here, these electrostatic forces are called the dielectric stress, and if you calculate this dielectric stress at any point in the cable, so that value you can say that that may be the potential gradient or electric intensity. Okay, so now we are going to calculate this expression, so potential gradient expression value. See here, so the electric field intensity at a point x meters from the center of the cable is Ex is equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x. So this value we were already derived in the previous case. Okay, see here. So this electric intensity at a point x meters from the center of the cable, Ex is equal to Q by 2 pi x into epsilon naught epsilon r. So this value directly I am taking here. Okay, so here the electric field intensity at a point x meters from the center of the cable can be written as Ex is equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x in x. So this electric field intensity generally expressed in volts per meter. Okay, so from the definition, this electric field intensity is equal to potential gradient. So as I said, this dielectric stress will be same as the potential gradient, which is also known as electric intensity. So from this definition, you can say that potential gradient and electric intensity. So these two are same. Okay, these two are equal. So if you represent this potential gradient as small g with the letter small g, so then the potential gradient small g at a point x meters from the center of the cable can be written as small g is equal to x. Okay, so as I said, electric intensity and potential gradient both are same. Okay, so generally this potential gradient is generally represented with a small letter small g. So that small g will be equal to this Ex value. So small g will be equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x. Okay, let it call it as equation number 1. Now you are also derived the potential difference V between the conductor and sheet. Okay, so while calculating the capacitance, we were also derived the expression for voltage or potential difference. V is here is equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r log capital D by D to the base C. Okay, so you directly take that expression. The potential difference V between conductor and sheath is V is equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r log capital D by T to the base C. Okay, so from this expression you can write the charge Q as Q is equal to, so 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r V by log capital D by D to the base C. So this is the charge value. So charge Q is the charge per unit length. Okay, so now you substitute this charge Q in this expression, potential gradient expression. Okay, so in place of Q you are going to substitute that expression. Then the potential gradient Z can be written as, so in place of Q this expression you will get. So this value is 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r V by log capital D by small d to the base C by this value 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x. 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x. So now 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r. So these two will get cancelled. Then the potential gradient expression can be written as small z is equal to capital V by x into log capital D by small d to the base C. So this is the expression to calculate the potential gradient. So potential gradient also known as electric intensity or dielectric stress. Okay, so if they were asked derive the expression for dielectric stress or potential gradient or electric intensity, you can write the same. Okay, so the potential gradients G can be written as V by x into log capital D by D to the base C. Okay, so now from this expression you can say that this potential gradient G depends upon the x. X here is the length or distance. Okay, so potential gradient G is inversely proportional to the distance x here. So that means when the distance x is minimum, so then potential gradient value will be maximum. When it is x is maximum, G value will be minimum. Okay. Now the potential gradient value will be maximum. So when the value of x is equal to d by 2. So as I said, what is actually the x here? So we were considered at a distance p one layer. Okay, so from here to here this is x. Okay, so now on the surface of the conductor, so the value of x will be equal to d by 2. Okay, if you want to calculate the potential gradient or dielectric stress on the surface of the conductor, so then you have to substitute x is equal to d by 2. So that value will be the minimum potential gradient. Now if you substitute x is equal to capital D by 2, so that means you will get the potential gradient on the surface of the sheet. Okay, so this will when you substitute x is equal to d by 2, you will get the minimum potential. So x is d by 2 is the x value will be the minimum, so g will be the maximum. So at the surface of the conductor, you are having the maximum potential gradient, and on the surface of the sheet you will be having minimum potential gradient. Okay, so you see in the graph, so if you write a graph between your distance x and this potential gradient g value, from here, from the center of the conductor to surface of the conductor, this potential gradient or electric field intensity will be the constant, right? So from here, surface of the conductor, so the value of potential gradient will go on decreasing. Okay, so from it, this is the at the surface of the conductor, it will be having maximum, and as your distance is more increasing, this gradient value or stress value will go on decreasing and will be the minimum at the surface of the sheet. So this surface of the sheet will be at a distance of d by 2 from the center of the conductor or core. Okay, or you got the point. So this potential gradient, so you can also say that dielectric stress. Okay, the dielectric stress will be maximum on the conductor, surface of the conductor, and minimum at the surface of the sheet. Okay, and your surface of the conductor is having at a distance x is equal to d by 2, and surface of the sheet is at a distance x is equal to capital D by 2. So now if you want to calculate minimum potential gradient or maximum potential gradient, so then you simply substitute x is equal to small d by 2 to get the maximum value, and x is equal to capital D by 2 to get the minimum value. Okay, so here if you put x is equal to small d by 2, so then you will get the maximum potential gradient, so which can be represented with g max, which is equal to 2v by, in place of x you will get d by 2, so you will get 2v by small d into ln d by d. So if you want to get minimum potential gradient, you have to substitute in place of x capital D by 2. If you substitute in place of x capital D by 2, you will get minimum potential gradient as g minimum value is equal to 2v by capital D into ln d by d. Okay, so this potential gradient can be expressed as volts per meter. Okay, so now if you find these two ratios, so then G max by G minimum ratio, if you find this value, you will get capital D by small d. Okay, so this is about the electrostatic stress, or you can say that dielectric stress, or that will be potential gradient. Okay, so by using these expressions, you can calculate the potential gradient or dielectric stress in the cable. So this is actual value for calculating, and the minimum and maximum value will be calculated by using these two expressions. Okay, so the maximum stress will be there on the surface of the conductor. So generally, while designing a core or a cable, so while designing a cable, you have to consider this maximum value, right? So what is the maximum stress on the core, on the cable, that you have to consider. So while designing the cables. Okay, now let us see the design of the cable. What is the diameter of your cable you have to choose. So diameter of the conductor. So that you can also the most economical conductor size. The size here nothing but diameter. So most economical conductor diameter in a cable. So how you can calculate the this most economical conductor diameter or size of a cable. Okay, as I know, as you know, what is the parameter you have to consider? You have to consider the maximum stress in the design of a cable. Okay, so now during safe working conditions of a cable, this dielectric strength of the insulation should be more than the maximum stress. Okay, so this is your cable ma. So if you want, if you are under normal operating conditions, so this cable insulation, so this insulation will be having some dielectric strength, so maximum dielectric strength. Okay, so this insulation dielectric strength should be greater than this maximum value. Okay, so this Gmax value. So that means your insulation, what you are keeping on the surface of the conductor, should withstand for this maximum potential gradient. So potential gradient in a sense dielectric stress or dielectric force. Okay, so the that insulation what you are using on the cable should withstand for maximum value of dielectric stress. Okay, so we write the expression dielectric stress for maximum value. So that Gmax value is 2V by small d into ln capital D by D. So you have to choose your dielectric strength of the insulation should be more than this. Okay, more than this one. So to get more than this value, so generally for a cable, this V, capital V, so which is the voltage, and D, diameter, total diameter or sheath diameter. So this will be generally keep it as constant, and the parameter variable here is small d, which is the diameter of the conductor. Okay, so for the given values of voltage and D, capital D, so the most economical conductor diameter will be the one which is having the minimum value of this Gmax. Okay, are you getting the point here, ma? So most economical conductor diameter and method. Okay, so that means your conductor diameter should be economical. Economical means at the same time it should withstand for maximum stress. Okay, so you have to select the insulation in such a way that it should withstand for maximum stress, and at the same time the conductor diameter should be economical. Okay, so to get for a given values of V and D, so the most conductor most economical conductor diameter can be the one which is having the this Gmax value to be minimum. Okay, so when this Gmax value will be minimum, when the denominator term is maximum. Okay, so denominator term is small d by ln capital D by D. So when this is maximum, this Gmax value will be the minimum. So when this Gmax is minimum, then that will be the most economical conductor side. So you have to find the maximum value of this. So you know that how to calculate the maximum value for a particular expression, right? So to get the maximum value for this expression, you have to differentiate this expression with a variable term small d. Okay, so now here you are going to differentiate this denominator expression small d into log capital D by D to the base A with respect to your diameter small d. Okay, so now if you differentiate this value, so this is like differentiation of UV. So this can be written as UV dash plus VU dash. So you keep first term this as constant and differentiate this. So differentiation with respect to D, so this value will become 1. So you will be having ln D by D plus first, then you keep this term as constant and you differentiate this. I think you know the differentiation. So D by dx of UV is equal to here VU dash plus V dash U, can write like this. Okay, So let us see, this is your view and this term is V. So first you have to keep this V constant value. So that means V you have to keep as it is, and you have to differentiate this D with respect to D. When you differentiate D with respect to D, you will get 1 plus. So then another one, you have to keep this U as constant as it is. So D value as it is you are keeping. So then you have to differentiate this second term. So when you differentiate this term, so which is, so d by d of d by dx of log x will be 1 by x. So this 1 by x instead 1 by capital D by small d you will get. So that value will be small d by capital D. Again you have to differentiate this d by d. Right? So d is constant here, and 1 by d will be minus 1 by d square. Okay. So the final term will be ln d by d plus small d into small d by capital D into minus d by d square. Okay. So you know how to differentiate any expression. Okay. Here dd and d square will get cancelled, and capital D will get cancelled. So the expression will be ln capital D by small d minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. So this can be written as log capital D by d to the base e which is equal to 1. So from this expression, d by d can be written as e. Okay. D by d is equal to actually e power 1. So e power 1 in the sense e only, that value is 2.718. So the most economical conductor diameter from this expression will be small d is equal to capital D by 2.718. Okay, this is the most economical conductor diameter. Now if you substitute this d value in this expression, so in place of here, if you substitute this value, the final value of getting what you are getting for Gmax will be 2V by small d. Okay. So this expression, so you got from this, right? So in place of log d by d to the base e, you can write 1. So that means this value will become equal to 1. So the Gmax will be 2V by small d. Okay. So this is the maximum potential gradient under the conditions of most economical conductor side diameter. Okay. This is how you can determine the most economical conductor size of a cable. Okay, now if you see this Gmax value depends upon your diameter. Okay, diameter of your core or diameter of your conductor. Now if you take low or medium voltage cables, so this low, or if you take low and medium voltage cables, so for these cables the value of the conductor diameter which is calculated from this expression will be having a very small value. Okay, so that means the diameter will become very small value. So but in that case it cannot carry the current as much as required for us. Okay, that means generally for small or medium voltage cables, so you have to design your diameter small d based upon your current density. Okay, if you use this expression for calculating the diameter, so the value what you are getting here is very small value. So that small value of diameter of the core will be not sufficient to carry the amount of current what we desire. So generally we will not use this expression to calculate the most economical conductor size for a cable. So if the cable is subjected to low or medium voltages. Okay, so for low or medium voltage cables, you have to consider current density as a parameter to determine the diameter. Okay, so you should not use this d, which is equal to 2V by Gmax. So you should not use this expression to calculate the conductor size for low and medium voltage cables. So you will use this expression to calculate the diameter for only high voltage cables. Okay, so for high voltage cables, if you calculate by using this expression, so then that value will become very large. So here also you will get another disadvantage. That you cannot design a very long diameter cable, right? So the core diameter here, small d here is core conductor diameter. So when you use this expression for calculating the small diameter of the core, so then you will get a large value. So but you cannot design this large value of conductor. So how you can get this large value of diameter here? So this large value of diameter can be obtained by using three methods. Okay, so by using aluminum instead of copper. So if you use aluminum instead of copper, so you know that aluminum will be having more density. Okay, so the if you use aluminum instead of copper, so then the aluminum will be having more diameter when compared to the copper. Okay, so or you can use the copper wires which are standard around the central core of hemp. Hemp here is nothing but it is a like a bamboo type of pipe. Okay, so bamboo type pipe will be used. On the bamboo type pipe, you are going to use these copper wires so that your conductor diameter will increase. Okay, or you can use instead of hemp, you can also use the lead tube. Okay, lead tube can be used instead of the hemp. Right? Okay, thank you. So if there are any doubts, you ask me. Share what we were explained today. So let us see in brief. So here we are going to develop the equations to calculate the insulation resistance, dielectric stress, as well as capacitance of a single core cable, and you are also calculating the most economical conductor size, right? So insulation resistance here. So resistance, you know, rho L by A. Okay, here L you are going to consider will the small length dx. Okay, this is the effective length of the cable, and which is at a distance x meters, and area here is 2 pi xl. Okay, so the insulation resistance for this single core cable you can calculate from this expression, R is equal to rho by 2 pi L ln R. So from this expression, insulation resistance is inversely proportional to length. So when length is increasing, resistance will decrease. And the capacitance. So to calculate the capacitance here, general expression is C is equal to Q by V. Okay. So to calculate the capacitance, first you have to calculate voltage, which are potential difference. Right. So first you have to calculate the potential difference. So to get the potential difference, the expression is integral of E dx. So you have to first calculate the E, electric field intensity. So you are going to calculate first E, right? So to calculate E, you should have the D, flux density. Okay, so flux density can be calculated by using this expression for a cylinder. So dx is equal to q by 2 pi x. So then from flux density we will get electric field intensity. So then electric field intensity to voltage. So after getting voltage, you can calculate the capacitance. So the capacitance value calculated here is for only 1 meter. So the units are farads per meter. So C is equal to 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r by ln. So log some value to the base E can be called as ln. Okay, ln capital D by small d. So which is if you want to calculate that for the total length, you have to multiply this expression with length of the cable L. Okay, you cannot remember this expression. So C is equal to epsilon r L by 41.4 log capital D by D to the base 10 into 10 power minus 10 farads. Okay, so this is somewhat difficult to remember this expression actually. So because of that, you remember this expression itself. C is equal to 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r by log, sorry, this is ln d by d. So in the first unit also we were calculated C is equal to, so the same expression 2 pi epsilon naught by ln capital D by D, capital D by small d. So for a overhead transmission line. Okay, so in place of epsilon here you will get this epsilon naught epsilon r, that's it. Okay, this is also farads per meter, this is also farads per meter. Okay, in first unit if you remember the capacitance of a transmission line for a single phase line or two wire line, so that value will be C is equal to 2 pi epsilon naught ln capital D by D. So this capital D is the distance between two conductors. Okay, so here capital D is the distance from surface, sorry, this is the internal sheath diameter. Okay, internal sheath diameter, and small d is the diameter of the core or conductor. Okay, so then dielectric stress. So dielectric stress, it is also known as the potential gradient. Okay, so this potential gradient, you can also say that electric field intensity. Okay, so dielectric stresses or dielectric forces so will be developed, so because of the currents flowing through your conductor. So on the conductor you are having the insulation. Okay, so this insulation is subjected to electrostatic forces. Okay, those electrostatic forces are called are also known as the potential gradient at a particular point. Okay, so these electrostatic forces should be minimum. Okay, while designing the cables, you have to select the insulation of the cable such that this insulation should withstand for these dielectric stresses. Okay, so now if you calculate dielectric stress at a distance x meters from the center of the conductor, so let us see here. Let us you consider one point P on the insulation now, which is at a distance x meters. So now here first you calculate the dielectric stress. Okay, so dielectric stress at a distance x meters from the cable is this value, Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon r x. So now what is x here? The distance. Okay, so now this distance, depending upon this distance, this g value will change. From this expression, g is inversely proportional to x. As x is going on increasing, the g value will decreasing. So that means as you are moving from center of the conductor to your surface, so the g value will decreasing here. So g, what is g here? Electrostatic forces. So that means these electrostatic forces will be minimum at the surface of the conductor. Okay, at the surface of the conductor. So inside the conductor, you will always have the constant electrostatic forces. Okay, so here from center of the conductor to your surface of the conductor, you will be having a constant potential gradient or dielectric forces. So but from the surface of the conductor, as you are moving towards the sheath, these forces will decreases. Okay, so at the surface you will be, of the conductor, you are having maximum value, and at the surface of the sheath you will be having minimum value. Okay, so this maximum value and minimum value will be calculated by substituting in place of x in this expression. If you substitute x is equal to small d by 2, so then you will get the dielectric forces at the surface. So when you substitute x is equal to capital D by 2, you will get the dielectric stress or potential gradient at the surface of the sheath. Okay, so here when you substitute x is equal to small d by 2, the value calculated is the maximum value, and if you substitute capital D by 2, the value calculated is the minimum value. Okay, so those minimum and maximum dielectric stress you got here is this. G max is equal to 2V by small d ln d by d, and G minimum is 2V by capital D ln d by d. Okay. Now here you have to calculate the what is the most economical conductor, this conductor size. Okay. So what is the most economical conductor size? This conductor. Okay. This okay, this conductor size